welcome to our deep dive. Today, we're going to be exploring the world of NLP.
NLP.
Yes, natural language processing.
Yeah.
It's basically how machines are learning to understand, us better.
Ah, got it. Sounds complex.
It is, but it's also super fascinating. We've got this great article from the OpenAPI Hub community called Natural Language Processing, NLP Explained, how machines understand human language. It's a pretty awesome starting point.
So by the end of this deep dive, we'll all be NLP pros.
Well, maybe not pros, but you'll definitely have a good grasp of the basics. Plus, we'll be looking at its history, how it actually works, and the impact it has on your daily life. Ready to have some aha moments?
Absolutely. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. What exactly is NLP?
It's like, imagine teaching computers to understand and use language just like we do.
So more than just programming them to recognize words.
Oh, way more. It's about understanding grammar, the meanings behind words, even the context of a conversation. It's combining linguistics with machine learning, and deep learning too, of course.
Deep learning.
Yeah, think of it as a subset of machine learning that uses these artificial neural networks. They're kind of modeled after the human brain,
Wow. So has this always been possible? I mean, teaching computers to understand language like that?
Well, the history of NLP is a bit of a roller coaster ride. Early researchers, especially in machine translation, were super optimistic. They thought we'd be talking to computers fluently in no time.
But that didn't quite happen, did it?
Not exactly. In 1966, this report called the ALPAC report came out. It basically highlighted the limitations of the early machine translation efforts.
Uh-oh. Sounds like a setback.
It was. Funding dried up, and the field entered what's known as the AI winter.
AI winter. So everything just froze.
Pretty much. But then in the 1980s, things started to thaw out. NLP research shifted towards statistical methods.
Statistical methods?
Yeah, think of it as using probability and statistics to analyze and understand language patterns. Plus, computing power was also increasing. That definitely helped.
Makes sense. So when did deep learning come into play?
That was the game changer. In the 2000s, deep learning revolutionized NLP. Suddenly, we had things like Siri, actually talking to our devices.
That was huge. But, okay, I have to ask, how does a machine actually go from just seeing text to understanding it? What's the magic behind the scenes?
Well, it's a multi-step process.
Yeah.
First, you have to prep the text, kind of like getting ingredients ready before you cook.
So chopping up words and sentences.
Yeah, kinda. We break the text down into smaller chunks called tokens. These could be words, sentences, or even just characters.
The kids got it. And then?
Then we might remove common words like the, a, n. They don't really add much meaning on their own,
So like decluttering the text.
Exactly. We're simplifying it for the machine to digest. Then comes a really cool part, linguistic analysis. It's all about understanding the structure and meaning of language.
So this is where grammar comes in, right?
Yep. There's syntactical analysis, which looks at the grammar rules of sentences, and then semantic analysis, which dives into the meaning of words and phrases, taking context into account.
So it's not just recognizing words, but understanding how they relate to each other.
Exactly. And this is where machine learning models really shine. They've been trained on tons of data to spot patterns and relationships in language.
Wow. So it's like they've studied all the grammar books and dictionaries and absorbed millions of real-world conversations?
Pretty much. And they're constantly getting better, through evaluation and testing.
This is mind-blowing. Okay, so we've got the text prepped, the linguistics analyzed, the machine learning models working their magic. Are there any specific models that have really pushed the boundaries of NLP?
Oh, there are a bunch. But let's start with one of the big names, GPT-4. It's developed by OpenAI, and it's not just limited to text. It's multimodal.
Multimodal? You mean it can handle images, too?
Exactly. Imagine showing GPT-4 a picture of, a cat sitting on a mat.
Yeah.
It could create a caption like, a fluffy cat lounging on a colorful rug, or even write a short story about the cat. Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah, that's incredible. What else?
Okay, then we have BERT, developed by Google. This one's all about understanding context. Like, if you search for Apple online, BERT helps the search engine know whether you're looking for the fruit or, the tech company.
Ah, so it helps avoid confusion.
Exactly. It figures out what you really mean by analyzing the words around your search term. It's really good at sentiment analysis too, figuring out if a piece of text is positive, negative, or neutral.
So companies could use BERT to analyze customer reviews.
Exactly. Now, if BERT is the master of context, then Roberta is like its even more powerful cousin.
Oh, what makes it so special?
It was trained on a massive data set and with some tweaks to its training objectives, which led to even better performance on a bunch of NLP tasks. It's become a real favorite among researchers and developers.
Wow, sounds like a real powerhouse. Anything else?
Oh yeah, tons. There's Paul M, also from Google. It's designed to handle really complex tasks like reasoning, learning, and adapting to new information. Think creative content creation, nuance translation, or answering your questions in a comprehensive way.
So it's like the super intelligent one.
You could say that. It can understand complex concepts and generate different creative text formats like poems, code, scripts, you name it.
It's like having a Shakespearean robot at your fingertips.
Yeah, something like that. And then we have Albert. This one is known for its efficiency. It gets great results, but uses fewer parameters than, say, BERT, making it more practical for certain uses.
So it's like the lightweight champion of the NLP world.
Exactly. And finally, there's XLNet and T5. XLNet's got this unique way of understanding context that actually outperforms BERT in many tasks. And T5 is a real all-rounder, treating every NLP task as a text-to-text problem.
This is a seriously impressive lineup. But okay, let's get practical here. How is all this fancy tech actually impacting our lives? Any real-world examples?
Oh, tons. Think about, like, email. Remember spam filters?
Oh, yeah. The heroes of the inbox.
Those are powered by NLP, specifically text classification. The system analyzes incoming emails and decides if they're spam or not.
So it's like a digital bouncer for my inbox.
You could say that. And text classification is used for sentiment analysis too, remember? That's how companies figure out how people feel about their products or services.
Oh, right. Like analyzing customer reviews.
Exactly. And then there are those awesome real-time translation tools that let you have conversations with people who speak different languages.
Those are lifesavers,
Yeah.
especially when you're traveling.
And it's all thanks to NLP. These tools aren't just translating words, they're capturing nuances of meaning and tone too.
So it's like having a super smart interpreter in your pocket.
Precisely. And then we have those helpful chatbots and virtual assistants popping up everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Those are everywhere these days.
Yeah,
They're powered by NLP, too.
absolutely. They can understand your questions even if you phrase them in different ways and give you helpful answers or complete tasks.
So it's like having a personal assistant at your beck and call 24/7.
Exactly. And speaking of making life easier, NLP is also a key player in information retrieval. Think search engines.
So how does NLP help me find what I'm looking for online?
It goes beyond just matching keywords. NLP helps search engines understand your intent, even if your search terms are a bit vague.
It's like having a mind-reading librarian helping you navigate the internet.
You got it. And as we generate more and more data online, that ability to find the right information is becoming even more important.
No doubt. So NLP is clearly a rock star in the digital world. Is it making an impact in other areas, too?
Oh, yeah. For example, in healthcare, NLP can be used to analyze medical records and research papers, even conversations between doctors and patients, to extract valuable insights.
Wow, that's amazing. So NLP is helping doctors make better diagnoses and treatment decisions.
Exactly. And it's helping researchers develop new drugs and therapies by analyzing data from clinical trials. The potential is huge.
This is all seriously mind-blowing. It seems like NLP is quietly working its magic everywhere. But I'm curious, are there still challenges that NLP faces, even with all these amazing advancements?
Oh, absolutely. Human language is incredibly complex, and even the most advanced NLP systems still have room to grow. But the progress is remarkable.
This has been so fascinating, and I can't wait to hear more. We'll be back after a short break to dive deeper into the challenges and the exciting future of NLP. Stay tuned.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of NLP. Before the break, we were talking about how NLP is used in things like email, search engines, even translation apps. But as cool as all that is, I'm guessing there are still some hurdles when it comes to NLP really grasping all the subtleties of human language.
You're right. Even with all the progress we've made, there are definitely challenges. One of the biggest is ambiguity.
Ambiguity.
Yeah, how words and phrases can have different meanings depending on the context.
Like the classic example, I saw her duck.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see a bird? Or did someone duck down?
Exactly. For us, it's usually obvious from the situation, but for machines, it's tricky.
So how do researchers tackle that?
By developing models that are better at understanding context. Not just the words in a sentence, but the bigger picture, the whole conversation or the situation. Like teaching machines to read between the lines.
Makes sense. So it's not just about recognizing words, but figuring out how they all fit together, what they mean in that specific moment.
Exactly. And then there's the challenge of words with multiple meanings, like bank could be a financial institution, or the edge of a river.
Oh, yeah, those tricky homonyms. So how does NLP figure that out?
Context again. Researchers are working on models that can analyze the words and sentences around a word to figure out which meaning is intended.
That's pretty cool. Like giving machines a detective kit for language. But what about, there are so many languages out there. How do you create a system that can handle all that diversity?
You've hit on another major challenge. Creating systems that work across multiple languages is incredibly difficult. Each language has its own unique quirks, its own grammar and nuances.
It's like trying to build a universal translator from Star Trek.
Yeah, kind of. But researchers are making progress. They're looking at techniques like cross-lingual transfer learning.
Cross-lingual transfer learning.
Basically, it's where models trained on one language can be adapted to work with other languages, like teaching a machine to learn from its experience with one language and apply that knowledge to others.
So not separate systems for each language, but finding ways to leverage the knowledge from one to understand others.
Exactly. It's a really exciting area of research, with huge potential for breaking down those language barriers.
It's amazing to think about a future where language isn't a barrier to communication or information. But with all these efforts to overcome the challenges, there's always the question of bias. These systems are trained on data created by humans, and humans, well, we're not exactly known for being unbiased.
That's a really important point. Even though the goal is objectivity, the data these models are trained on can reflect existing biases in society. Researchers are working on ways to mitigate bias and create NLP systems that are fair and equitable.
It's like a constant balancing act, right? Making sure this powerful technology is used responsibly. But let's shift gears a bit and talk about the future. What's next for NLP? What are you excited about?
The future is incredibly exciting. We're moving towards a future where interacting with machines will feel much more natural and intuitive. One area I'm really enthusiastic about is the development of even more sophisticated contextual understanding. Imagine machines that can understand not just what we say, but what we mean.
Machines that can, read our minds.
Not quite mind reading, but understanding our intentions, even our emotions. It's still early, but researchers are exploring things like sentiment analysis and emotion detection.
So like a virtual assistant that knows when you're stressed and suggests taking a break.
Exactly. It could offer calming suggestions or play your favorite music. It's about making technology more personalized and empathetic.
That would be amazing. What else is on the horizon?
Multimodal learning is another area with huge potential, combining NLP with other data like images and videos to create a richer understanding of the world. So not just analyzing text, but also seeing and hearing.
Like taking NLP from black and white to full-color surround sound.
Exactly. You could show your virtual assistant a picture of something and ask it to find similar things online. Or describe a scene from a movie and have it instantly find the clip. The possibilities are endless.
What about language translation? Will we ever get to a point where those barriers are truly gone?
We're getting closer all the time. Research in multilingual NLP is moving fast. Imagine traveling to any country and talking easily with locals, or accessing information and entertainment from anywhere in the world, no matter the language.
It would be incredible to live in a world where language is no longer a barrier to communication and understanding. But as these technologies get more powerful, we need to think about the ethics. How do we make sure NLP is used responsibly, that it doesn't perpetuate harmful biases or invade our privacy?
Absolutely. Ethical considerations are crucial. As NLP becomes more sophisticated and integrated into our lives, we need to be extra careful. Researchers are actively working on techniques to mitigate bias and ensure that NLP is used for good, for the benefit of society as a whole.
It's a complex challenge, but one we need to address head-on. But let's not get bogged down in the potential problems. The possibilities are still incredibly exciting. A world without language barriers, where communication with machines is natural and seamless, where information is accessible to everyone.
It's a powerful vision, and I believe it's achievable if we proceed responsibly and ethically. We need to make sure these technologies are developed and used in a way that benefits everyone.
It's a good reminder that technology is a tool. It's up to us to decide how we use it and what kind of future we create. We'll be back after a short break to wrap up our deep dive and explore what it all means for you. Welcome back. So we've covered a ton about NLP, from the basics to the really cool models and applications. But before we wrap up, any thoughts on what this all means for the future? Big picture stuff.
Well, it's pretty clear that NLP is advancing at an incredible pace, and it's becoming more and more integrated into our lives. I mean, the potential for positive impact is huge.
Right. But like we were saying, we need to approach all these advancements carefully and ethically, right?
Oh, absolutely. As we rely more and more on these NLT systems, we need to be extra vigilant about potential biases, protecting people's privacy and making sure everything is transparent, how these systems work, what data they use, all of that.
For sure. It's like great power, great responsibility, right? But I gotta say, I'm still super excited about all the possibilities. Imagine a world with no language barriers, where talking to a machine feels as natural as talking to a friend, where anyone can access information no matter what language they speak.
It's a pretty inspiring vision, and I think it's achievable if we're careful and prioritize ethics in every step. We need to make sure NLP benefits everyone.
That's a great point. So as we wrap up our deep dive into NLP, what's the one key takeaway you'd like our listener to remember?
I think it's this. NLT isn't just some cool tech thing happening in a lab somewhere. It's already changing our world in big ways. How we communicate, how we find information, even how we receive healthcare. It's a field full of both amazing possibilities and challenges. And honestly, I think it's up to all of us to be part of the conversation, to help guide it in the right direction.
That's a great way to put it. And for our listener out there, we hope this deep dive has, sparked your curiosity about NLP and all the amazing things it can do.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure diving into this topic with you.
And to everyone listening, we hope you've enjoyed this exploration into the world of NLP. Keep learning, keep asking questions. This field is constantly evolving, and who knows what incredible advancements we'll see next. Until next time, keep diving deep.